me try to put this in one single line just to avoid that unbalanced information. GL account, right. Let me see if my assets were calculated correctly. This might be calculating something. All right. Let me delete one of the lines and better include everything. For my purchase acquisition costs. Okay, let's try to, I have a bug here, but it's not a problem. I'm going to, instead of buying with a vendor, I'm going to put with a bank account at this point, just to post the acquisition cost and finalize the acquisition cost. Excuse me for that. I have just made some changes to do a bug that I had while purchasing, but that's the idea of having an acquisition. You can generate for a vendor or a bank account or your fixed asset journal, right? So let me just show you what I've done here. But at this point, I have just generated my fixed asset and I have just acquired. So the book value now is 8,000. Why is this like this? Well, the acquisition cost was 8,000 minus my taxes, which were 20%. Let me just generate the statistics. So my book value and the acquisition cost generated from my transactions were 8,000, and my book value is here, which is 8,000. And this is telling me that I have, by the way, just paid 2,000 as my taxes, right? So we can generate, it depends of how you calculate that type of operation. We just give you a brief example of that. At this point, with this 8,000, we're going to need to start depreciating my asset, right? So for me, it's just as easy as working with this. And for me to start depreciating, let me just work with my depreciation exercise. So I'm going to be starting on the 1st of January 2021 and 3.5 depreciation years. Here comes a bug for me because I have placed here a 5 before. All right, but anyway, what I'm going to do now, once I have all of this and I have all my assets that I have just created. Oh, by the way, you can block or generate an inactive asset, which will be different, all right? Inactive means that I won't have any type of transaction, right? I might maybe just have an on maintenance asset as well, I can just block it, so I won't have it depreciating any type of posting into my GL account, all right? So I would need to, and I have the possibility to generate those. So remember, my asset is also not only being posted to the specific GL accounts, but also with the administration value. So if I want a report, it's going to tell what would be the expenses for the administration department. Well, I can generate the report now. So what I'm going to do now is what we always generate every month, okay? I need a way of generating my depreciation for all my assets in a very easy way, as well automated, and I don't want to have to spend the entire morning or maybe even more working on this type of operations within an Excel or even within an ERP, working with the financial journal, inputting transactions, calculating them every time. So what I'm going to do now is just generate I'm going to click on the calculate depreciation function that I have here, which is an engine that helps me to review, hey, let's check the assets, let's check the depreciation amount that I need to do, right? And that's all. So with that information, I'm going to be generating a depreciation for my asset, okay? So I'm going to generate the February depreciation. What will be the posting date in this case? Well, let's post on the 28th of February 2021. You can force a specific number of days, or like I said before, you can just work with the regular 30 days, okay? So with that, the whole idea is that we make NAB help us. We need that NAB calculates for us a specific depreciation on a monthly basis for us, right? It's going to once again review the number of years to depreciate, the current book value by the specific moment that you actually depreciate. Remember that it's going to be decreasing with time, the book value I mean, and so on. And with the specific GL account. So in one single round, I'm going to be doing all that, okay? So what I'm doing here is that I'm just saying to NAB, I have a journal that I want to create for February depreciation for all my assets. So whenever I review the GL accounts, I'm going to have the February depreciation information for every asset related to the fixed asset number. So what I'm seeing here before actually reviewing the last operations in my chart of accounts, this is my soft ledger, and here I have the asset information. So let's make the journal. Okay, I have a journal created that actually currently has all the fixed asset numbers. Let's start with the first transaction. I have one transaction generated for the asset FA0010, which is a Mercedes 300. And what I'm posting here is a type of transaction depreciation, all right? So what do we have for the assets? We have the acquisition cost that we already did. We have the depreciation. We could have write-downs or appreciation whenever you want to increase or decrease the value of your assets. Why not thinking about later purchasing a radio for my car? So well, it could maybe increase, depends of the accountant approach, if that will be increasing or decreasing the value of my asset. Okay, disposal and maintenance and different type of transactions. All right, but let's continue with the operation. First, I need to post the acquisition cost like I did before, okay? Purchase it, and then later, and only after I have posted the acquisition cost, I can start to depreciate. In this case, NAB calculated 30 days as a standard, saying that I'm actually just calculating $1,000. This was calculated by NAB, the amount to actually just depreciate in this case. Well, number of depreciation days, 60, excuse me. So you can, because we purchased our assets maybe in the 1st of January, and I'm telling that I want to post this on the 28th of February in this example. So those actually are 60 days. That's what I did. So as you can see here, all the transactions have the same date, and you can just actually just work with that. So what I have then is just one credit and debit for the asset and included by NAV generated automatically is including your depreciation account for vehicles coming from the P&L. Let me show you the P&L account. So I have all the different depreciation accounts in my P&L for different specific type of assets in this type of example, right? So also remember that this will be posted in the depreciation vehicles account, but as well carrying the information that is also for the administration department. So I'm going to just post now this journal, and I have just posted the first depreciation value for my asset. Let me just take a look at the subledger. So what I have done is just, if I just take a look, this is the subledger of my assets, and I have posted 8,000 for the acquisition cost. This is a document type invoice, and here is blank because this is a journal, right? This is the description February depreciation, which was the first depreciation that I posted, right? And here is minus 381 for the 60 days, all right? So the next depreciation that I will be posting will be March, and will be 30 days. So it's also the half of 381, all right? Which will be 175. So that's the way we just do. NAV works just like that for you. It's going to help you with all the calculation. And look, this happened for all my assets in one single round. And the book value has just been decreased. Previously, it was 8,000. Now it's the 8,000 minus 381 for the depreciation of 60 days. Now the book value was decreased to $7,619. So with this, I could be generating my statistics, and whenever you post any transaction, is being saved on your subledger entries, and as well in your statistics, you will be able to see the totals. Okay, so you might have acquisition costs, depreciations, write-downs, appreciation, customs, salvage value whenever you want to decrease as well, and so on. All right. So we have different type of transactions. I cannot show all of them just right now. All right, but we could also generate as well. Let's remember insurances. I could also generate main components for that asset whenever I might have machinery that actually I will be posting soft assets or sets of assets that will be creating one total asset. Just for you to know, specifically for machinery. I don't know, maybe buildings could be part of this as well. But right, and also let's remember we could generate maintenance registration for my car at this point. I don't need components at this point for my asset or other type of transactions due time constraints, but they exist, right? And let's try to then try to check what we have done. So we have created our asset. Here you have the manual that I can just provide. You can create multiple assets. We have a copy fixed asset function. You can purchase an asset, and I here show you the functionality that we have just reviewed. So you can have it in your presentation, in your manual, whenever you want to use it. Or as well, if you're seeing this for the first time, well, you are seeing a NAV working live for the first time. And this is just the functionality generated for you in our agenda. Okay, now comes disposal. What is disposal? Well, just basically either this means different type of transactions. An asset could off end the life cycle life or the useful life, right? So we just would need to just block it, and we have depreciated the asset, so the book value is 0, right? So that would be the disposal, or we could just sell it. Why not? Okay. So I don't know. The most common is that you will be depreciating your own assets. It's not that you are actually just selling all your assets, but it will be just coming. I need to show a disposal at this point. So why not to sell your cars, which actually is part of the normal operation of a company. All right. So for that to happen, what I need to do, okay, I have shown you the normal NAB client. Well, what this is now Business Central once again, but it still has the look and feel of the NAB. So it's just basically, functionally speaking, is just we are just saying the same thing. All right, but now this is Business Central. So, well, that's more or less the idea. And let me try to open the another type of client for us to work. Okay. I have opened a web page in any type of browser. This is Chrome, by the way. And what I'm doing here, let me show you. I have the previous client that I showed when I created my asset and I purchased it and blah, blah, blah. Is just installed on my server. The consultants will be installing that for you on premises if you will need it, right? But we also work on the cloud. Apart from that, exists another type of area where you can actually just work, which is a web client. So you can take we can implement this client for you. You can just go out of the office to work at home or any other place where you can continue working. All right. So this is the Business Central client, and I'm just going to now, I was going to create a sales order. Let me show this for the first time. So this is the client where for the Kronos company, we have different type of operations. We have bank statement, chart of accounts, bank accounts of accounts, and I can see all the different NAB or Business Central transactions. Look, here we have our fixed asset as well. I'm on the website now. But I can see here from this website that is connected and is in the cloud at this point, I can see my Opal that I have created, all right? So the whole idea, and let me come back to the operation that I was going to do. Well, this is the client connected on real time, and etc. Just want to show you that, but what I actually need to do is just operate and create an actual sales order. So let me just go back and create a sales operation. I don't want this asset. I'm going to sell it. I have made a negotiation with a customer. We'll call Sports Meyer Furnishings. Once again. Okay, just to mention it, all right, from the implementation in this demo, I have all the general information for this customer. So I'm generated a sales order from the specific date. We have the general information of your customer. We could create we have different processes for our sales operations, okay? We can even actually just send them in conjunction with Outlook. So we have integration with all our tools in Office, just for you to know. Well, we can, why not request to approval, print and send, all right, or prepare. We have plenty of options, basic function, different functionality for my sales order. The basic one that I wanted to show you today is that I want to sell my asset, right? So as an external document, I'm going to be preparing an invoice for my customer, and I'm going to be selling. For this Sports Meyer customer, I can sell different type of transactions, like normally we'll be selling items or resources even, but whenever I offer services. But I want to work now with fixed assets, all right? Just to have disposal or a sales operation for my asset, all right? I'm going to sell it. So I'm going to need to select the Opel asset. Well, for me, the whole idea is that I will be selling one, and that's all. So I'm selling my Opel car. Okay, I know I should review the value in order to make the specific negotiations. And I don't know, I will be selling the car once again for the same price. Why not? So NAB is going to be calculating for you now if you have gains and losses, and it's going to post it the operation to your P&L automatically. All right, so you just make the negotiation, come into the actual client, register your sales operation, and that's all. What do we have whenever I just select this asset to be sold? Well, I'm going to have as well the calculation. This is, by the way, in US dollars. So it depends now with the currencies that you actually work with. Business Central is a multi-currency and multi-language system, or ERP. And here we also calculate the taxes. This is an automatic transaction that we generate, and it depends of the type of operation that you actually work with. In this case, our asset doesn't calculate that type of, we don't have taxes due, well, in this case, we don't calculate them, but we need to work with you, with the accountants, just to see what type of operation carry taxes or not, all right? So prices including VAT as well, the currency code is here, the VAT business posting group is export. So we have different type of transactions, all right? So in this case, this is just the basic, so I'm not going to work in detail with all the information that I'm going to be seeing here, all right? But this is the basic, the basics for you to know how to sell it. And just that because I just wanted to show the, I wanted to show the other client, right? So I wanted to show that here, what we do with the web client is still possible to work. Oh, I was mentioning as well that you work with the Office tools. So here is Excel. So you can download this and this sales operation, or the complete list of sales operation, and download it immediately to your computer, right? Like in this example, let me just show you. I'm opening Excel, downloading the information that I have here, and with the Excel that I'm showing you here, I have downloaded my sales operations, all right? So if you want to have it, if you want to have a single report, simple as that, with the total amounts of your sales operations, right? So you can have this and you can work with that, all right? So for now, this is just finished. I have just finalized my operation, and here you can post it, post and send if you want to. If you well, I don't have my client connected to Outlook, but I could, and it's very, very easy. So I could send directly this transaction to the email, to the customer's email, all right? Also, what I want to show is I just can preview the sales operation, and let's take a look. For every operation, NFB is doing this. I have my GL entries, the customer ledger entries, the taxes entries, or VAT entries for Europe, and well, the fixed asset ledger entries, of course. Let's take a look at this. I have some gains and loss because I'm posting an invoice, a sales invoice, by the way, so coming for the order 1003, right? This is a disposal type of transaction posted to the company depreciation book. Then how it would be looking in my accounting process? Well, first of all, let me see if I better see this in, excuse me, I wanted to see the GL account name not being shown. In this client, let me go back to the, I want to see the GL account. So sales order, coming back to the, native client, that's what we call it, which is the client we install in your personal computers. I wanted just to show, first of all, I have here the same sales operation, right, for the same 10,000 transaction, right? So here I have the same preview posting function, and here I just wanted to show the GL account names. This was quite important, so I need to change. So I have a 1,000 because of this sales operation. I'm actually posting that I have gain of $1,000, 130 to the gains and losses account of coming to, from a P&L. All right. coming to the decreases during the year, because I'm selling this, I have the minus 8,000 a credit to my 1330 account, decreases during the year, right? So, and so on. All right, so I have accumulated depreciation vehicle being balanced to zero at this point, and my customers for eyeing a accounts receivable account. All right, so I'm posting a sales operation, all right, but at the same time, this is not posted to the regular sales account because this is not specifically. 1 second, please. Okay. So, well, these are the GL accounts being generated for this operation, and every transaction actually just work that way. So I have shown the fixed asset GL entries and the that I'm going to be posting to my subledger and my GL entries. With that, I either could send an email confirmation, or I just can look. This is connected to Outlook, so just generate to whom you're going to be sending this. Noem, Bart Wellman, and Optimus. Pure, right? So this is now generating the actual template information that here, if you want, for every sales operation, we can just generate a template for you. So we have this automated as well, and we actually just going to generate the email. Well, let me show you how this works in conjunction with Outlook. So I'm just generate a PDF file containing the actual invoice. I don't have to write down anything. So here is an invoice, well, quite a boring invoice, but for my company, I'm sending to the customer, well, email Noe Wellman, which is myself, but I'm sending the attached, already prepared invoice prepared by Business Central with your actual template. We can customize this for you, and an email with the actual information of the total. So the people that wants to see this just currently has this information. So I'm just going to post it. And with this, I have finalized my invoice and my sales operation of this asset. So this is the disposal, and the invoice is just saved. And here you have the entire history within NAV already. All right. Coming back to my assets, what I need to review is just see what I have done with my Opel. Well, my car has been sold, by the way. You already know, have seen this, so the book value now is zero, right? We don't actually just close, even though I have just sold this asset, I just do not come here and click on delete, because this asset still has transactions. In other words, we have ledger entries, right? These are my ledger entries. So I have the acquisition, the depreciations, and the proceeds on the disposals that I did. So the value now is zero, all right? But this affected many entries in my different GL accounts, from acquisition, depreciation, and at the end, the sales operation and the disposal gain and loss account, right? So all these transactions are still open, are still affected by my P&L, right? So I cannot just delete it until I just close the year. So by the end of the year, I will be transferring this to my equity account. And once these accounts are balanced to zero, then at last but not least, I can just delete any asset that is not functional for me anymore. So in this very easy example, I have just shown you the life cycle of a fixed asset. All right. So by the way, as well, we are generating these. We generate a report for you. Let me show you that. And in the financial management, we have my fixed asset reports. And well, we have plenty of analysis here, a posting group net changes, a register acquisition list, right, and book values, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, I have one, the FA details is one report that I like, containing all the transactions that I have, okay, for all my assets. I love this report because I have all the detail, dates, amount, and type of transactions. So let's take a look at the first asset. I have a Mercedes. I purchased this asset for $30,000. All right, and I have been depreciating for every month $500 until I came up here in our exercise. Remember, we posted a depreciation for 2 months, 60 days, which will be just, it happens to be 1,000. All right. So just remember that I'm using the standard idea of depreciating every month for 30 days. But you can, let's remember, if you want it, be specific with your depreciation dates using the actual criteria of working with the actual number of months, or even when you purchase it, just starting working with the number of days you actually depreciate with the exact number of days since your acquisition cost. But it will be quite, the amounts that you see here in this type of reports could be quite irregular, right? So like in this example, I was posting 500 until I came up with today and posted 1,000, all right? Because the number of days to depreciate was different, all right? But you decide this, how you want to depreciate, and we can do this for you. And even we have reached this place, we can actually just even make some corrections, which I'm going to show you now. But this report is showing me all my transactions with my assets. So this was posted to your GL accounts, right? Now, here as well, I have the Opel acquisition cost for my asset. I depreciate 60 days for 381, and then I come up with the procedures of the disposal, all right? So now I have the 6,488 and 1,130 for my asset, summarizing the acquisition cost and my depreciation to be balanced to zero for 8,381. So these were the disposal operations, right? So I have all these different GL entries saved, all right? So some of the reports, the fixed asset list as well is a common one, okay? So this is telling me, okay, those are my assets. I have a tangible, a Toyota Supra, this is a Mercedes, this is my plate, administration, a Mercedes, another one for the sales department, production department, all right? So all the list of general information of my assets, okay? So you can have it all. We can generate specific reports for you if you need it. And let me show you some other. Okay, I have registered here all my assets as well. But here in this case, what I want to do is just review also the calculations, the amounts, the totals, that I will be working with every asset, all right? So as a general way, let me just show you the operations, financial operations with my asset. Look, for one Opel, all right, I previously had an expenditure acquisition cost of minus 8,000, right? The depreciation minus 381. So with this, I will be having all the calculation, summarize the total money that you have invested, all right, in your register. So you can, we can generate and show you all my reports. We can generate analysis where we just can actually just combine for your depreciation. Okay, do you want to see something more specific? Okay, let's try to review the GL acquisition dates, the amounts. Okay, let's try to analyze the depreciations, acquisition costs for our entire year. Let's try to analyze the gains and loss for any period, all right, appreciation, customs, all right. So we can prepare just any analysis, just tell us which fields you want, and we can just on the fly prepare the reports for you, all right. So this is more or less the actual reports that we have more or less. We still can generate maintenance, insurances, which will be generating more expenses, but generally speaking, this will be the general life cycle of every asset, showing all the transactions that we generate. As you can see, everything is automated. We never came up with the complexity of needing even a calculator to help us, or an Excel spreadsheet to work with this, right? Now let's come back, and finally, last but not least, let's show the chart of accounts, right? In my example, I just work with my vehicles, and I have different accounts. A vehicle account that I generated, which has an open entry. So whenever we implement a Business Central, we need that open entry coming from your old or for your previous software. So we're gonna have that always, at least the first time we just come up with. You can be very, very detailed here, or just give us the total for the opening balances. After that, we're gonna start working with specific transaction in Business Central. The increases during the year will be telling me what were coming from the asset subledger, what were the specific transactions that make me an increase. In this case, I have here my Opel as an example, and the other assets that were here, right? So in this case, it's 8,000. After that, I generated a decreases during the year account, telling me once again the specific decreases that I will be having, and I have here minus 8,000 because I have a disposal of one of my assets. If you remember, that was my Opel, right? And if you see here the specific 8,000 that I had when I sold it, also carry some other transaction, all right? This was sold in North America for the office business group, medium business, department, sales, and this actually, John Roberts sold this vehicle. So we have plenty of statistical information for you, and accumulated depreciation, finally, that is here coming from all my assets. Well, I have just here February depreciation coming from my different assets, and for the other months is everything in one single account. So I have all the specific information here in my GL account. And as well, this was the balance sheet, right? But of course we have the depreciation in my P&L as well. So it's just exactly the same, working just with the different variables and the different type of transactions, but just showing, well, here I have in my example the depreciation of my buildings, equipment, vehicles, and gains and losses like I have shown, right? So because I have sold one item, I have these gains and losses transaction amount, and I have also depreciation, in this case of vehicles, already here carrying the February depreciation that I posted, all right? So this is already posted, and this can be just generated for all your assets in one single. Once again, let me just come back to show you the functionality. You don't have to work manually. That's why we have this type of webinars, to see the possibilities for NEB. This calculates the depreciation for everything. All right, here we have the fixed asset list, the acquisition list, the analysis, projected value reports, and so on. All right, so for me, that will be more or less the presentation. Oh, by the way, let me show you. Let's say that, yes, we do corrections. Yes, we have issues. Yes, we need sometimes to add or decrease values. We need to correct depreciations for any type of reason. How do we do that? Well, we can just do it on directly on your asset. It's not a problem, where you could actually just reverse transactions for the specific asset that you require. Let me show you. You just need to open the ledger entries. Let's say for my vehicle, this is the Opel, right? So I could generate the cancellation or reverse transaction or any of these transactions that I posted before, and automatically NAV is going to help you with that as long as you have permissions, right? But that's done asset by asset if you want it. what if you posted, because we have the calculate depreciation for all your assets in one single round, right? Well, we have anyway a massive ways. Well, we have tools to generate massive correction. Okay, so we have once again my depreciation book, and I have posted, let's say, an incorrect. We have an incorrect operation with my depreciation. I just realized that instead of 60, I should have posted from the beginning of just 30 days as an example. All right. Well, here I have the possibility to cancel massive operations. So here is a cancel FA ledger entries, remove one or more fixed asset ledger entries. So this is done in a massive way. So tell me what you want to actually just reverse to which day. Let's say, well, I was posting in February, so I would need to post any transaction starting from the 1st of January, because I know that I posted January and February, 60 days, all right? So in this example, this is the starting date. What you want to, well, you will need to input all the different information, the document number 001, the posting description, reversal for all assets. This is not a common operation, but it could happen, right? Just to show it. What you want to reverse: acquisition cost, depreciation, write down, appreciation, and so on, okay? Just select. This can be handled only by a key user. I'm going to reverse all the depreciation for since January the 1st till, I don't know, February 28th of the same year, as an example, all right? So the whole idea is that this is the way I work within NAV. I can make corrections on an asset specifically, or on a many or multiple assets as well. So if I have made a mistake that I know that I need to correct, well, this is the way I'm going to be doing for all the assets, okay? So with that, I'm not going to do it now. With that, we are finishing our webinar today. And the whole idea for you, well, this is what's at disposal. Let me show you. We could have reclassification as well. Let's say that previously you were working with one type of asset that was not actually, accidentally you classify one asset as a car when it should be office type of asset and so on. We can still do so. We can even generate new type of a reclassification, like, oh, okay, I know that I committed a mistake while selecting the type of depreciation or the acquisition cost or whatever I need to just correct and classify. So now, you can update your tax depreciation book. Previously, we were working with the corrections only on the acquisition or depreciation, but actually we can do so for taxes if you need so, right? Just for you to know, we don't have time to show all the type of transactions, but for you to know, yes, we work with the with the specific details also for assets, depreciation, acquisition, any type of detail that any transaction that you post with an asset can be corrected, period. Now we have some other type of assets, specifically IAS fixed asset book value, okay? We have depreciation books. And just to show some of the reports that are very useful, okay? So, well, if you want to report your assets and have this type of report, well, we generate it for you. And this is just an example, where we have the acquisition, the depreciation transfer details, and the calculation books. So we have all your detail period to period with this specific report. I'm just showing this in my presentation so you can actually work with this webinar and also with the PowerPoint that I'm going to provide when it's required, and that's all, right? So with this, I just want to thank all of you who were participant in this webinar. Please tell me whenever you want if you have further doubts about how to operate with assets, how to operate if you want to implement this specific module. It's very easy for us. It could take us maybe 2 weeks, just as a standard. Okay, there is no specific amount of time for for an implementation, but regularly, you know, it doesn't take, with this specifically asset, it just take 1 or 2, it's just a matter of weeks for you to have this. Or if you want to have webinars specifically for a specific functionality, some of you might have already this module implemented, but you want to see how to work with insurance. You want to have an explanation of how to work with spare parts for your machinery, for further or more complex variations of the asset functionality. We will be happy to present that functionality for you. So if you have any doubts, please let me know. Here we have Mr. Brian, hello, Hector Trujillo, Noctail News, and Mr. Towers. If you have any doubt, please tell me, let me know. You can use your microphone already if you want to participate, or you can make me just direct questions within the chat, and you can and I can answer anything to you right now, or just here, by the way, oh, excuse me, here I'm Wellman Noe once again, and my email is here, noe.wellman@optimus.guru. All right, if you want to write me as well, I can receive your questions. All right, okay, let's see. Oh yes, no problem, Mr. Ryan. Yes, this presentation, for anybody who wants to know more about assets, is very useful. Yes, I can send all this to you. Mr. Ryan, I'm gonna send it after, at the end of this presentation. Let me show you the agenda for any of you who want it. This is what we presented today, so you can see some exercises. This is general information, and further more complex information and comments is within here, so you can read it and just see when something is useful for you. In a glimpse, you can just ask for anything. So maybe you are requiring something, and when you see the presentation, you could have an idea of further functionality. So I don't see any other questions so far. Does anybody has more or any requests? We can go further with specific trainings for your users and so on. Okay, good. Thank you very much then for your time. We're going to continue with a series of webinars with time. Now we are working once again. We were talking about some other aspects, like not only the specific asset functionality, but we also are working, we are showing the Business Central client, right? This is it. Now is a NAB still functional, but now we are working with the Business Central functionality, working now in 2019, right? So the operation, functionally speaking, is still the same. Any NAB person can actually just jump into Business Central and work normally, for a way of saying it, but we are working now with Business Central with more optimized functionality, better look and feel is much more a friendly user, and give you, well, the same functionality, but we now work with different topologies, presentation topologies and architecture, where we actually work in the cloud and so on. So Business Central is a way to go now, and that's exactly what we are working with exactly in these webinars. All right, but let's remember, if you're still working with NAB, we are still talking about the same. So thank you very much, and have a nice day. Let me just show you once again my email, and let's say goodbye for today. Thank you for your time. My name is Wellman Noe, and see you next time.